It's important to maintain the tractor on a daily basis. Proper and timely maintenance reduces service failures and provides the highest working performance. Fuel system management key point. Clean, quality fuel is very important to the engine. Fuel filters filter impurities of fuel, but if impurities are too great, they will block the filter element and the engine output power will decline. It is recommended to buy the filter element from an SEM dealer and period maintenance as OMM. Fuel pre-filter element can filter water in fuel. Release water timely when it has deposit. The water into fuel pump can cause fuel pump fritting. Avoid dust and water in the fuel system. Pay attention to the fuel site storage. Fuel should be stored in a closed container and protected from rainwater and dirt. Clean the filler before filling. Clean container by fuel before using container filling. During operation, water naturally accumulates in the tank. This is due to the warm air in the tank during the day. After the night temperatures drop, the formation of water vapor in the fuel tank attached to the inner wall. To prevent this, try filling the tank after finishing work shift. The sulfur content of the fuel within the engine combustion to form sulfur dioxide, so that the engine oil deterioration. The use of high sulfur, poor quality fuel will accelerate the deterioration of engine oil, resulting in must change the oil frequently than normal. To make use of low sulfur fuels when the track type tractors work and to protect the engine. Engine oil system management. Engine oil lubricates the frictional part of engine inside metal component. The friction produces heat. Fuel burn in the cylinder produce high temperature also. This heat makes the engine oil hot. The engine oil in high temperature use, the oil lubricating effect wears off, accelerating the engine oil deterioration. Under use, poor quality engine oil or oil shortage situation continue running. The engine component will be fritting or abnormal wear, so should be changed deterioration engine oil by proper engine oil. If oil shortage must fill to normal level. Check the engine oil level before working. Make sure the oil locate between up and down scale. Test method. Clean outside of dipstick. Draw out dipstick. Clean dipstick. Reset. Draw out and observe oil level. Clean and reset. Draw out and observe oil level again. Avoid allowing dust and water into engine oil. The engine oil should be stored to prevent rainwater, dirt, and avoid light sight. Clean filler before filling. Clean container by fuel before using container filling. Dirt of engine oil and fuel, metal friction powder, and other debris into each component of engine lead to failure resulting in aging. The function of filter is to filtrate these impurities. The user should be, as OMM requirement, change the different engine oil according to the season, alternate. Also change the oil filter. It is recommended to buy genuine parts from the SEM dealer. Cooling system management points. The coolant have important in engine working. When the engine working, the cylinder inside have repeatedly explode, generate a lot of heat quantity, must use coolant cooling cylinder outside. If the coolant not enough, the engine will overheat. Check the coolant before working every day. If the coolant is low, do not start the engine. It's not all the water will be coolant. The calcium, magnesium, and other mineral substance in the water form incrustant after heating, attached to cylinder liner and radiator, resulting in not fully cooling and lead to overheat. In addition, the inferior coolant contains corrosive ions, rust-eaten cylinder liner, and water pump. SEM brand machine adopt organic antifreeze as coolant. Use only need to add, don't need to be replaced. Fully taking account into customer use of cost. SEM dealer has special coolant for SEM machines. Provide the convenience for customers. Air system management point. Equipped with 2 air filter in the engine, almost all the dust should be filtrated. If the air filter gather many dust, will be blocked. If block heavy, will difficult to suction air. Need to clean the first class air filter. Disassemble cover of filter, using compressed air to blow filter outside from inside so that the dust fall. Don't use knock the filter bucket method to clean the filter. Don't remove the inner filter when cleaning because the dust will into the engine cause of engine failure. General, the first class filter clean 6 times, or 250 replace, and change the inner filter. In severe environment, check the air filter maintenance indicator, whether locate in red area before working every day. The filter element replace should be more frequently than normal working condition. Fasten filter when installing. If have internal, the dust will be into engine from interval. Review summary. 1. Fuel, engine oil keeps out rainwater, dirt storage. 2. Clean the filler when refuel, oil, and use clean container fill oil. The debris and dirt can't get into engine. 3. Use low sulfur content fuel. Reduce the pollute atmosphere when track-type tractor working and protect engine. Reduce the pollute atmosphere when track-type tractor working and protect engine. 4. The engine oil and filter should be by genuine parts from SEM dealer. 5. Engine oil and filter should be replaced by required period. 6. Use SEM brand antifreeze. 7. Must check the air filter before working. Operating the machine as the above method, the machine will have long service life and increase the working efficiency and economic benefit. In accordance with the prescribed period to replace hydraulic oil, coolant, and accessories that may cause damage to the environment, please properly collect the waste as local law of environment protection. Protect the environment. The safety measure is important when maintaining track-type tractor. The track-type tractor move to flat, firm ground, blade down to ground in each control handle locate in neutral position, shut down power, wait for the machine to cool to avoid scalding. Battery or battery cable, inspect, replace. Turn the engine start switch key to off. Turn all of the switches to off. Disconnect the negative battery cable from the disconnect switch. Disconnect the negative battery cable at the battery. Disconnect the positive battery cable at the battery. Inspect the battery terminals for corrosion. Inspect the battery cables for wear or damage. Make any necessary repairs. If necessary, replace the battery cables or the battery. Connect the positive battery cable at the battery. Connect the negative battery cable at the battery. Connect the battery cable at the battery disconnect switch. Install the key and turn the battery disconnect switch on. Belt. Inspect, replace. Your engine is equipped with a belt that drives the alternator and the AC compressor, if equipped. Cutting edges and end bits. Inspect, replace. Raise the tractor blade and block up the tractor blade. When you remove the cutting edges and the end bits, maintain the tractor blade at a minimum height. Remove the bolts. Remove the cutting edge and the end bits. Thoroughly clean all contact surfaces. Check the screw holes of dozer blade on auxiliary cutting plate. Replace new cutting plate if the holes are not damaged. Install all bolts and tighten the bolts to the specific torque. Raise blade and remove block, then put the blade on the ground. After you operate the machine for a few hours, check all bolts for the proper torque. Braking system test. Make sure that the area around the machine is clear of personnel and clear of obstacles. Test the brakes on a dry, level surface. Fasten the seat belt before you test the brakes. 1. Start the engine. 2. Turn on the brake switch. Release traveling brake pedal. If the machine does not move forward, step down the braking pedal. If necessary, disassemble and inspect the friction disc. Inspect and replace the braking pipe. Equalizing beam pin shaft, lubricate. Lubricate the equalizing beam center pin shaft with oil cup, which is located in the access door of the engine below crankcase. 1. Remove the cover. 2. Lubricate the oil cup. 3. Install the cover. Repeat this procedure on the other side of the machine. Final drive oil, replace. Move the machine so that the drain plug is at the bottom of the final drive. First loosen the oil filler plug and then remove plug and allow the oil to drain into a suitable container. Clean plug and replace one if it is unable to be used. Move the machine and stop it when the arrow is horizontal and points right. Loosen the oil filler plug and add oil from here. Clean the oil filler plug, replace one if it is unable to be used. Repeat this procedure for the other final drive. Final drive oil level, check. Park the machine on a horizontal ground according to the position to be replaced engine oil. The arrow is horizontal and points right. Remove oil filler plug in order to check the oil level. The oil level should reach the lower thread position of the oil filler plug. Clean or replace the plug. Repeat the procedure for the other final drive. Position of front idler wheels. Check, adjust. Park the machine on dry, flat ground. Be sure to make the tensioning track tooth plate to be on same vertical line of front idler wheel. Inject lubricating grease into oil injecting valve to have the tracks to be tensioned sufficiently. Release the oil injecting valve slowly to discharge part of the lubricating grease. Draw back the front idler wheel by about 10 centimeters. Control the sinking amount between 4 sections of tracks to be about 25 millimeters. Breathing apparatus of fuel tank filter. Replace, clean. Remove fuel tank filler cap, breathing apparatus. Dismantle fuel tank cap. Check whether the seal of fuel tank cap is damaged. Replace the seal if damaged. Lubricate the seal on fuel tank cap. Check whether the protective sleeve is damaged. Replace with new one if damaged. Replace or wash the filter element on fuel tank cap. Moisture and pollutant in fuel tank. Drain. In order to release pressure, please loosen breathing apparatus cap of fuel tank slowly. Loosen oil drain valve core and drain the fuel completely. Open oil drain flange with tools. Clear the dirt in fuel tank. Install oil drain flange and oil drain valve core. Fuses and circuit breakers. Replace, reset. Remove the fuse cover. The fuse block is positioned on the right side of the seat. Remove the screws that are on the fuse cover. Remove the fuse cover. Replace a fuse if the element separates. If the fuse of a particular electrical system requires frequent replacement, check the electrical circuit. Repair the electrical circuit if necessary. Hydrostatic oil, replace. Open the access door on the left side of the cab. Remove hydraulic oil tank filler cap. Open the protective board at the bottom of the machine. Loosen oil drain plug, the position indicated in the picture. Drain the oil to proper container through oil drain pipe. Please wash the oil tank if necessary. Install the rear bottom protective plate. Add oil to appropriate position. Install hydraulic oil tank filler cap. Start the engine and keep it running for several times. Keep the oil above the mark, otherwise it is necessary to add oil. Stop the engine. Fasten the loose clamps or connectors if necessary, or replace the damaged hoses. Hydrostatic oil filter element, replace. Hydrostatic oil filter is located on the right side of the engine. Open right access door of the engine cover. Dismantle 2 filter elements with special tools. Wash the filter element mounting seat. Install new filtering components. When the gasket touches the mounting seat, it is necessary to turn by 3/4 cycle in order to enhance the strength. Keep the oil on proper position of the mark. Add oil if necessary. Close the access door. Hydrostatic oil volume, check. Please park the machine on flat ground before checking the hydrostatic oil volume. Watch the oil filling quantity mark of hydraulic oil. Open the oil tank filler cap to fill oil if necessary. Clear and install the oil filler cap. Hydraulic oil sample, obtain. Take sample with special tools from the pressure measuring joint on hydrostatic oil filter beside the engine. Oil filling filter element of working hydraulic oil tank. Replace. Remove the oil filler cap, breathing apparatus, of working hydraulic oil tank on the left rear part of the machine. Wash and check whether the breathing apparatus and filter screen are damaged. Please replace if damaged. Install the filter screen and the breathing apparatus. Oil return filter element of working hydraulic oil tank. Check, replace. Clean the dirt on the flange or filter screen. Dismantle the filter screen flange and seal gasket. Take out the spring and oil return filter element. Check whether the seal gasket and oil return filter element are damaged. Clean the seal gasket and oil return filter element. Please replace if damaged. Install filter element, spring, seal gasket, and filter screen Working hydraulic oil tank. Wash. Loosen the breathing apparatus slowly. Open the bottom flange and drain the oil into appropriate container. Wash the oil tank and blow dry the oil tank. Check whether the connection of oil suction pipe leaks. Install the flange, add appropriate hydraulic oil, and install the breathing apparatus. Replace pilot filter element. Clear off the area near pilot filter. Loosen the pilot filter shell with a wrench and remove the element. Clean the contact surface of seal gasket on the mounting seat with clean cloth. Please replace the damaged seal gasket if any. Install new filter element. Assemble pilot oil filter. Walking bar crankshaft oil level. Check. Remove lubricating screw plug of walking bar pilot shaft on one side of the machine. Check oil level of the pilot shaft. The oil level should be at the bottom of the threaded hole. Add oil if necessary. The oil level should be at the bottom of the threaded hole. Repeat the above procedure on another side. Radiator block. Clean. Open retainer in front of the engine cover. Eliminate the dust or other residue with compressed air, high pressure water, or steam. It is suggested to use compressed air first. Radiator filler cap. Clean. Replace. Loosen radiator cap slowly to reduce system pressure. Check whether the radiator filler cap is damaged, has deposit or impurities. Clear off the dirt with a clean cloth. Replace with new cap if damaged. Install radiator filler cap. Ripper. Inspect, replace. Tips to replace. Raise the ripper. Place blocking under the ripper. Lower the ripper onto the blocking. The ripper should be high enough so that the ripper tip can be removed. Do not place the ripper too high. If the ripper tip is worn, drive out pin. Remove tip and the shank pin retainer. Clean the shank pin retainer and the pin. Install the new ripper. Raise the ripper and remove the blocking. Shank replace. Remove the shank. Lower the ripper onto the ground. Remove the cotter pin and then drive out pin. The ripper should be high enough so that the ripper shank can be removed. Install the shank. Raise the ripper. Place heel block under the ripper and fixed, hauling cable across tracked hole of the shank top hoisting shank to installation site. Install pin and cotter pin. Raise ripper and remove the blocking. Ripper linkage and cylinder bearings. Lubricate. Lubricate the 8 connecting pin shafts. Lubricate 2 pins on installation positions of cylinder and bearings at the top of the cylinder. Seat belt. Inspect, replace. Always check the condition of the seat belt before you operate the machine. Replace any parts that are damaged or worn before you operate the machine. Check the seat belt mounting hardware, buckle, and seat belt for wear or for damage. Replace any mounting hardware that is worn or damaged. Track. Check, adjust. Check the track adjustment. Check for wear and for excessive dirt buildup. If tracks are too tight or too loose, wear of the components will accelerate. About track type tractor track maintenance requirement. Any damaged parts should be replaced. After disassembling track main pin should replace it. That's to ensure the product quantity. Track pin should be replaced when service the track pin. Suggest change a sublink assembly and 2 pin of both ends. Replace the pin sleeve and sublink assembly should in workshop process. If the track appears to be too tight or too loose, adjust with reference to next step. Track adjustment. Adjust the tensioner to adjust the tension of track with special tools to have it reach requirement of dimension 19 mm to 31 mm. Operate the machine back and forth in order to equalize the pressure. Allow the machine to coast to a complete stop. Do not use the brake. Measure the average dimension. Track bolts. Check. Carefully hear the abnormal noise when operating the machine. This noise may be used to judge whether there is a defect connector. Check the bolts of chassis at least once each week. Check the bolts immediately after operating the machine. Touch the bolts with hand to feel whether they are hot. Measurement of abrasion of track shoe. The initial height of the track rib is 60 mm. Replace when the measured height is 10, i.e. abrasion is 50 mm. Measurement of abrasion of track joints. The initial height of the track joint is 115 mm. Replace when the measured height is 106 millimeters, i.e. abrasion is 9 millimeters. Measurement of abrasion of thrust wheel. The initial depth of the wheel body is 17 millimeters. Replace when measured depth is 23 millimeters, i.e. abrasion is 6 millimeters. Measurement of abrasion of driving gear block. The initial distance is 219 millimeters. Replace when the measured distance is 205 millimeters, i.e. abrasion on a single side is 7 millimeters. Track type tractor periodic maintenance includes the following content: daily maintenance, initial maintenance, every 250 service hours or monthly. Every 500 service hours or 3 months. Every 1,000 service hours or 6 months. Every 2,000 service hours or 1 year. The service hour meter determines the maintenance intervals or calendar intervals, daily, weekly, monthly, etc. Caterpillar Qingzhou Limited requested maintenance should be strictly performed as Operation and Maintenance Manual. During maintenance, daily maintenance and initial maintenance of related components or interval maintenance should be strictly performed. Important notice. Warning. Please use the spare parts approved by Caterpillar Qingzhou Limited or Caterpillar Qingzhou Limited dealer. The use of unauthorized spare parts may cause problems and reduce the service life of machine. Please use original maintenance parts approved by Caterpillar Qingzhou Limited or Caterpillar Qingzhou Limited dealer. The use of unauthorized spare parts may cause problems and reduce the service life of machine.